Welcome to the Guru's Fantasy Corner.
Hey guys, welcome to the Guru's Fantasy Corner with your guru, Adam Shepard.
Hello.
And me and Adam figured we'd go ahead, and we're getting so close to playoffs and purgatory and another special type of playoff. We figured we would just go ahead and see like who Adam thinks is going to make the cuts. And I was going to pull up my standings here real quick. And Adam, right now, the number one team is Day Day with a record of 6-3, 844.6 points forced. He's had a lot of injuries. Lost Aaron Rodgers, Ty Montgomery losing a lot of snaps, but he's still in good position. What do you think?
He's lost, 5 out of the 6 last matchups? He was on fire, and then...
I think he's dropped 3 of the last 4.
3 of the last, okay. Since Rodgers went down, essentially.
Yeah.
I think he makes it into the playoffs just because his win-loss ratio going into that was good enough. And he's got Kamara.
Kamara has been on fire. The thing that I think that Day Day has going for him is all the points forced early he had going on. So if somebody has a similar record to him 3 weeks from now, it's the same record, and it's right on the bubble, he's going to win just because of points forced.
Right. I think he lingers in. I don't think he does anything in the playoffs, but I just think he's got enough wins so far that a couple lucky weeks, I think he gets there. And he's still got Kareem Hunt.
Mm-hmm. And I agree, too. I think Kareem Hunt has really blown up the second half. That AP trade just solidified him being fantasy gold this year.
Yeah, I agree.
I wish I didn't trade him. And then we got Vince coming up with the second best record, also at 6-3, but he is 54 points less scored at 790. What do you feel, Vince?
Well, Vince has wins. See what I did there? And Gurley.
I think Vince gets in because I think he has me this week. And I think at 7-3, that's a pretty good record to go ahead and say you're a lock for the postseason.
You think he has you this week?
I do, because I think he's going to get a score fest out of the 49ers and Giants because they have no defense, and he's got a bunch of players in it.
I'd still be ashamed to lose to anybody starting Eli Manning.
Oh, yeah, I will be ashamed come Monday morning.
And Sterling Shepard.
Yep, I will. It's going to suck because I have A.J. Green, Julio Jones, and I don't feel comfortable. That's sad. So, how do you feel about Vince? You think he gets in?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely, he's fairly deep.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's got a lot of depth on that team.
He's got some pieces, you know what I mean? He's using Manning this week only because once he's on a bye, and after that, we're to the end of the byes, and he's got a couple things he can plug and play where, the unthinkable to happen to anyone, and it's a pretty nasty team. Yeah,
I was thinking the same thing. Pretty nasty team. And then number 3, the third best team is actually my team. 5-4, 900 points forced. So I don't know. I'll take the criticism, sir.
I worry about Cam.
Oh, me too. That's the big scary part is getting scammed.
Well, and the thing is, we got Superman back last week. He looked like the Cam that scored top 5 3 years ago. For the last 2 years, he hasn't, or he's been trying to run he did that first year.
Yep.
But he's been getting injured doing it. And like I said, we got Superman back, but it's possible that he comes back and pours it on because they're still in the divisional hunt. So they're still looking for a playoff spot. All is not lost in Carolina. So
that's
between him and Fournette, I think Mixon is a wash. I think really everybody but AJ Green is a wash in Cincinnati.
Well, the thing is, I saw Phillip Rivers was out there on waivers, and I liked his postseason schedule. So I figured if anything, Cam starts to scam, I figured Phillip Rivers would at least be a well, I wouldn't start him this week going against the Jaguars, but going forward, I felt like, they might just be winging it to the new receiver, Mike Williams, the rookie, and, that's my hope for Phillip Rivers. They just start airing it out a little bit.
Right.
But I could be wrong, and he could just go ahead and get like the 14 points average or whatever he's averaging right now. But I feel like the floor is higher with Phillip Rivers, but the floor is super low with Cam Newton. But boy, Cam Newton can have such a high ceiling.
I will say, okay, assuming Julio Jones comes back and is more than a shell of himself this week.
Well,
as long as Julio Jones comes back to full health, and you have him, AJ Green, Fournette, and Evan Ingram, like that should be all it takes to propel you to the postseason.
That's what I'm hoping for. And lucky.
Everything else aside, like as long as you can plug and play as you go, in my mind, those four players are like standouts.
That's what I'm hoping for. But the thing with Julio Jones, where I might have got lucky, is on Friday he was off the injury report on Friday.
Wow.
And they say he's a full go on Sunday. So off the injury report, I'm assuming that he didn't sprain his ankle. He just tweaked it a little bit. And that's all I can hope for. Because if Julio Jones goes down, I'm in trouble because I traded Michael Thomas away for him.
That's true. But you have Calvin Benjamin, and you don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah, he kind of scares me a little bit. Fun fact, though, Cam Newton's best fantasy season came the year Kelvin Benjamin tore his ACL.
Ooh, interesting.
So we'll see if that's all I was wondering. Maybe Cam gets a little magic back. But we'll see. Number 4, Dixon. 890 points forced. Me and him both had tough losses last week. Neither one of us could really get the edge on the other because Dixon was nice to trade Matthew Stafford to your brother. Thanks, Dixon. So, but how do you think about Dixon's team? I mean, he's got, to me, a good solid roster. Drew Brees, LaShawn McCoy, and Doug Martin as his running back. And what I really like is Doug Martin's playoff schedule because he plays, week 14 he plays Detroit, but it's in Tampa Bay. But then he plays Atlanta week 15.
I really think with Doug Martin, if
that and he has Gronk.
you have to have, what's that?
That and he has Gronk.
Yes. Yeah, you can. Doug Martin has been a bust for the past 4 weeks. And you gotta wonder where that train stops. He has Tevin Coleman as a backup, but once again, Atlanta's not been what Atlanta's supposed to be.
That's true, and they still relying on Devontae Freeman, and Devontae Freeman's still getting the bulk of the work right now.
Right. It has not been, like I say, it's not been the same Atlanta offense that we saw last year.
No, they're definitely having a Super Bowl slump year.
Once again, you're still talking about a guy that's got Drew Brees, McCoy, Golden Tate, Hopkins, Gronkowski, and Marvin Jones. Like,
yes.
Once again, to me, regardless of the deficiencies elsewhere, if you can responsibly plug and play everywhere else, even if you're just going off the waiver wire, that's enough to get you wins on a week-to-week.
Okay. So the first top 4 teams you have making the playoffs. Now it's where it's going to get dicey. Okay,
Right.
number 5 we have Lubbock at 5-4, 809 points scored, and he's got Tom Brady. He's got Alfred Morris, who could be the starter going forward, because they've already named him the starter for the next 6 weeks. The only person he could really lose his job to is Rod Smith. They said he's the number 2 guy, and then Darren McFadden if Rod Smith can't carry the load. So he's got a good shot at having the Dallas running back. He's got Christian McCaffrey and Dez Bryant, but Dez Bryant's questionable. He's got Will Fuller, but I don't think Will Fuller's the same with Deshaun Watson out for the season. And then he's got Cameron Brate and C.J. Anderson. He does have Amari Cooper on the bench. He's got LeGarrette Blount, but LeGarrette Blount is basically not worth anything now that Ajayi is in Philadelphia. So he's got some question marks.
I don't think so. I think you're talking about a touchdown-dependent guy that's going to score 2 touchdowns a game because they're scoring 40 points a game.
That could you got a point there.
I think LeGarrette Blount is still like he's not your 25-point-a-game guy, but he's still your 15-point-a-game guy. I'll bet you anything.
And if so, then moving forward, Lubbock easily has both running backs in his flex moving forward. The only thing he really has the question mark is his receivers with Dez Bryant, Will Fuller. I would rock Dez Bryant and Amari Cooper every week moving forward. That's just me.
Yeah, I agree. You know, Tom Savage is just Tom Savage.
He's savagely bad. Coming from a Texans fan, he's awful. The only person I would trust is DeAndre Hopkins. Just because in years past, besides the Osweiler era, he's proven he can be a top wide receiver with a bad quarterback.
Well, and he's going to get...
And he's going to get all the targets.
Targets a game.
Yeah.
I mean, and he can get 3.
Okay. So with Lubbock, how do you feel? Do you feel he makes it in?
Man, that's way closer to the bubble. There's a lot of question marks there.
Okay. Well, then we'll go ahead. We'll move on to number 6 team, which is you, sir. You have Ryan Fitzpatrick this week, which I think is a good plug and play. He's a gunslinger, and the Jets secondary is awful. I think they're going to...
The third most yards per catch, and Fitzpatrick in his only full game this year has thrown the most yards per catch.
Yep,
and
then moving forward, you got Derek Carr, Michael Crabtree combo, and their playoff schedule is Kansas City and Dallas. Philadelphia in Week 16, which isn't great, but that Kansas City-Dallas is really good. They face New England next week, then Denver, not so good. But then they play the Giants, which are awful. So really good schedule for the Raiders coming up. And Devontae Booker, I thought that was a good pickup by you because he could just take that C.J. Anderson job because they may just want to see what the young guy has because it's a lost year. So you got Kristen Thompson, Jordan Howard. You're swinging for the fences on Martavis Bryant. You still got Jarvis Landry. He'll get his. It's a solid team. I mean, you got depth. You could probably use one more wide receiver, but I guess that's why you picked up Martavis, just seeing, you might get lucky with him.
Well, it's a win or lose week.
Yeah.
And luckily I got 2 touchdowns out of Jimmy Graham this week.
Oh, yeah, you
I'm
did.
much more confident with swinging for the fences this particular week. But long term, yes, I could use one more wide receiver.
And the Danny Woodhead was a nice pickup too, because he's going to take over the Buck Allen role real quick. Because when it comes to things like this, and they're coming off the IR and stuff like that, players like him, people are like, why is he going to get his job back? Well, follow the money.
Right.
He got the money. They're not going to pay him to sit on the bench. They're going to use every piece of him they can because they're not going to let the money go to waste.
Like Buck Allen either.
No, they hate.
I have this feeling they do not like him as a personality or there's a work ethic issue or something that that they refuse to give this guy a bigger role, and I think Denny Woodhead comes back and hopefully opens up that offense a little bit.
Yeah, he will definitely be the passing down back, but boy, Alex Collins has just looked good there. Former Hog, man, it's nice to see. It's nice to see someone get recognized. And all the crappy running backs up in Seattle, you gotta think Seattle's front office is shaking their heads right now, going, "Why did we cut this guy?"
Yeah, but at the same time, like his production, like how many wins has it gotten him? You know what I mean? Like switching to that run-heavy offense, like what has that bought the Baltimore Ravens?
You do have a point on that one, but I would lean that that's more of their quarterback and wide receiver deficiencies more than anything.
Yeah, that's probably true. Well, like I say, I'm banking on Woodhead adding another element to that offense that is perhaps necessary in order for it to be successful.
Well, the thing is also, too, is he can go out to the slot if needed. He does a little bit of everything. He's that type of wide receiver where, it's 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7, passing down back, which it seems like Baltimore gets themselves into a lot, then that's the guy you want to bring in. And he has a good history of scoring in the red zone, too. I remember his first year of Melvin Gordon, and all he did was vulture Melvin Gordon all year.
Yep.
So I think that's a good pickup. So where do you see yourself? You got you and Lovick. You think either of y'all making the playoffs?
I think between myself and Lovick, I'd honestly put Lovick in the playoffs before I put myself in the playoffs.
Okay. Well, then we're going to go on.
His team better than mine.
Well, we're going to go on the number 17, which to me is probably the most interesting, and that's going to be Rod's team. It's got a lot of what ifs. Got Matt Ryan at quarterback. We know what he can do. Matt Ryan's schedule coming up is pretty nice. He plays Dallas this week. Then he goes to Seattle, but Seattle just had a bunch of injuries. Richard Sherman ruptures Achilles. Their Earl Thomas isn't playing, so Seattle's very burnable.
Good words against the pass.
Yeah.
Really, Seattle's pass defense is not near what it used to be.
No, it's not. And then after that, they have Tampa Bay. Minnesota's going to be difficult, but then they have New Orleans, Tampa Bay again, and New Orleans again. It's a good schedule coming up for Matt Ryan. He's got Mark Ingram. It's going to be a solid RB1 the rest of the year. Adrian Peterson, I think RB2 minimum.
He has Peterson and Ingram, like two guys that benefited the most
Yep.
from one trade. Like he has them both.
Yeah, and then on top of that, he has Antonio Brown. Now he has Devontae Adams, who I think is not worth anything. Austin Hooper, who I think is not worth anything. Isaiah Crowell, I don't like him. Seahawks defense, not the same anymore. But he does have DeMarco Murray, Zach Ertz, and Emmanuel Sanders.
I believe Ertz is leading all tight ends this year.
Yes, he is. He is the top tight end. I think the only reason he's starting Hooper this week is Ertz is on bye.
Yeah, he's on bye.
Yeah, so moving forward, he could potentially have a lineup every week of Matt Ryan, Mark Ingram, Adrian Peterson, Antonio Brown, Emmanuel Sanders, Zach Ertz, and DeMarco Murray.
Man, that's hardcore for seventh ranked in the league.
That's a pretty good lineup.
I'd say for the seventh best team in the league, that's pretty stellar.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's very interesting because you look at it and you go, man. I mean, between you, him, and Lovick, I'm like, this is going to be it's going to be a race to the finish.
Yep.
It's going to come down to the last game of the year, I think. So between you and Rod, what do you think?
Once again, I'd go Rod. Okay, both the other teams have known entities. Like, they have proven names on their roster. What I have is people that have produced this year that I've picked up off the waiver wire. Like,
And the thing is, Rod.
My team is on higher, but it's probably higher than anybody else.
Well, the one thing you got going for you, Adam, is you're 5-4, and Rod's 4-5. So you got a game up on him, but Rod has scored almost 100 more points this year. He's got 838 points scored, and you have 752. So he's got you on the points if you have a tiebreaker. So, but let's see, Lovick's at 809, so you're more closer to Lovick where you can catch him at points possibly. Like I said, it's gonna come down the wire. It really is. And
I put those two teams above me because I still, for whatever reason, believe in Matt Ryan. Like I still feel like he's a 20-point-a-game quarterback.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then we're gonna go ahead and we'll move on to the next guy after Rod. So that kind of puts you in purgatory, and we're gonna move Rod up to that one spot. So then that means number 8 team. See if you think they'll join you in purgatory, and that's Mo. Mo is 4-5. He has Dak Prescott and Le'Veon Bell, Orleans Darkwa. His wide receivers, not too great. He's got Sanu and Marquise Lee, but it's because he's got Tyreek Hill on a bye, and Chris Hogan hurt, and Jeremy Maclin on a bye, Alex Collins on a bye. Tight ends, Austin Severian Jenkins. His other running backs is Dion Lewis and James White. And he's got the Rams defense. Basically, if Le'Veon Bell, I think, is going to go off almost every week. And if he goes off, he just needs the rest of his team to kind of just show up.
Well, Sanu's top 15.
Yeah. So he's definitely, and Mo's one of those teams that's really been hit with injuries, but he doesn't quit. He just goes out and finds other guys and goes, well, I hope he scores. and he's kind of back and forth. He'll have a big week, and then he'll have an week. Then he'll have a big week, and he'll have an week. And so he's kind of back and forth. Do you think he's able to stay in that spot in purgatory, or do you think somebody else might come out and edge him out?
So far from what we looked at, he's firmly in purgatory. Like, it's not a terrible team, but you're depending on too much week to week.
Yeah.
Like, there's no. It's closer to where I put my team at. Like I have no week to week strength. It's or it is week to week. Not like there's nobody who's going to get you a 20 burger every week.
Yeah, and the next one we have up is number 9, which is Copro. All right, Adam. Copro has Jared Goff at quarterback. He's kind of swapping him and Russell Wilson in and out. He's got Melvin Gordon and Derrick Henry. His wide receivers, Doug Baldwin, Kenny Stills. Tight ends, Kyle Rudolph. He's also got Tyler Higbee, tight end for the Rams, and his flex. And that's because...
He also has another tight end.
Yeah, and Jason Witten, he's pulling the old Timbo slice like he used to do.
Yeah.
And the reason why he's got all this is because he's got...
also 2 defenses on his roster.
Yep, he's got Jordy Nelson and Randall Cobb on the bench. He feels he can't start either one of them. I don't blame him. So he's kind of stuck in no man's land because he could trade Jordy Nelson, but he's not going to get the offer he wants for him.
Yeah, he needs to do something. Otherwise, he's going to be competing for the big back dildo.
Yep, and he's got Buck Allen. And Buck Allen, like you said, it's probably going to become obsolete when Danny Woodhead comes back.
Right.
The Chiefs' defense hasn't been the same. I do like his pickup of the Patriots' defense playing Denver this week because Brock Osweiler is horrible.
The Brock Lobster, leaves something to be desired.
Yeah. So you feel Copro's in trouble of the last place bracket?
Yeah, he's in deep shit.
Yeah. And personally, I hope he doesn't win it because I think a new father should never have to bring that home to their children within the first year of their life.
That's true. That
Yeah.
shouldn't be any kid's first memory.
Yeah, it should not be. And then, so number 10, we have your brother, Matt. Matt is the lowest scoring team at 699 points. He's the only team to not break 700. He's right there, though. But moving forward, he's got Matt Stafford at quarterback, who you can swap in and out with. Well, no, he dropped the other quarterbacks. Never mind, just Matt Stafford move forward. Running backs, Lamar Miller, Jerick McKinnon, Bilal Powell, Jay Ajayi. Looks pretty good. Wide receivers, Mike Evans, Corey Davis, Danny Amendola, Devin Funchess, Ted Ginn, and Rashard Matthews. And he's got Hunter Henry at tight end.
I think he has a fair shot to make it back to purgatory. Like, this is
It's a good team. It's a good team, and all he has to do is win. I mean, the points don't matter if you have more wins. So.
Well, the crap part, he's going to lose this week. Like, that's a horrible lineup to have to roll.
Oh yeah, but if he gets.
Because that's suspension/5.
Yeah, but if he gets in that consolation bracket, I think his team's good enough to he doesn't have to worry about it.
I concur.
So we got Matt there, and after Matt we got Sammy with an I, Kirk Cousins Van, who's been living the up and down life of Ezekiel Elliott all year. Who would have thought? I mean, at the beginning of the year, he got David Johnson and Ezekiel Elliott, and then we found out Ezekiel Elliott was going to get the play. And I was like, well, hand Sam the Bundy. But I guess that's why we keep playing, because, boy, he got hit hard.
Yeah.
Just bad luck. He's got Mariota at quarterback. Elliott's gone the next 6 games. He's got Aaron Jones, who's losing snaps to Ty Montgomery. He's not the same with Aaron Rodgers gone. He's got Robert Woods.
Schuster, who may or may not be a first
Yeah. Delaney Walker's back healthy. I like him at tight end. He's got Dante Foreman in the flex. That's really risky.
Like, we thought 3 weeks ago Dante Foreman would be the starter by now, and then all of a sudden here comes Lamar Miller back,
Yeah. And
form.
on his bench, he has. That's what's hurt him all year. Is he won't drop David Johnson. I wouldn't either, because if he comes back the last week of the year, and you can use him, you're going to use him.
Might keep you from the big blackfield, though.
Yeah, that's the funny thing is if he's in the last place game, Zeke will play that week.
Ooh.
Yeah, so Zeke will play week 16. So, kind of.
That could be important. Like,
Yeah. So Sam's in the last place. If I end up being the last, say I was in the last place game, and all of a sudden I was facing Sam, I'd be so pissed because I'd be like, all I see is David Johnson, Ezekiel Elliott. I'd be like, this is bull crap because Sam go off and score 150 on you because he got Travis Kelce too. I mean, last place game, he has the potential of having this lineup: Marcus Mariota, Ezekiel Elliott, and David Johnson. His wide receivers are Brandon Cooks and Adam Thielen. Tight end Travis Kelce. And he can have Rob Kelly, Latavius Murray, Dante Foreman, Juju Smith-Schuster, or Rod Woods the flex. So any of them guys the flex. Or you can just start Delaney Walker in the flex. He's got the Carolina kicker and he's got the Bills defense. That's a solid lineup for a last place game.
For the last week's game.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Mariota, Elliott, David Johnson, Brandon Cooks, Adam Thielen, and then Delaney Walker and Travis Kelce, because you can put a tight end in the flex.
I think he's firmly in the loser bracket, and what cost him was Brandon Cooks not being what we thought Brandon Cooks could be.
I agree. I thought Brandon Cooks was going to have an amazing year.
And obviously, TJ. Like, TJ, VIR, like, it's hard, and I know this from personal experience, like, you lose your first-round pick, and there's almost no saving your season.
Oh, yeah.
Outside of getting lucky as hell, there's no way you rebound from that, so if you can not get the dildo and lose your first-round pick, like, that's a pretty strong statement about your fantasy game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then we got Stu. And I gotta give Stu credit, man. He's done the podcast thing with me every week, despite some bad luck and some things just not going his way. I mean, I feel bad, but he won't stop. He keeps making moves, keeps trying to make his team better. I love the pickup of the Detroit Lions this week against Cleveland. What I also like is him picking up the Jacksonville kicker too. That's a good for going against the Chargers. But moving forward, he can have a potential lineup of this: Kirk Cousins at quarterback, Devontae Freeman and Tariq Cohen or Marshawn Lynch at running back. Wide receivers: Michael Thomas, Robbie Anderson, Demaryius Thomas, and Devontae Parker. At tight end, he also has Greg Olsen and Charles Clay. And he also has Justin Tucker, who's on bye this week. Oh, and he gets he'll get Greg Olsen back too, because Greg Olsen's coming back after next week. I like Kirk Cousins' schedule after this week. He plays Minnesota this week. I don't like it, but after this, he plays the Saints, the Giants, the Cowboys, the Chargers, Cardinals in Week 15, and in Week 16 he gets Denver. So that Week 15, 16, that's brutal. I would not want to play against those defenses at the end there.
You want to see more from their offense, but that...
He likes to put up points towards the second half of the season. Kirk Cousins usually does that.
Okay, when their top receivers are the tight end and the running back, I worry a little less about the passing defense that they're facing because it's not...
That's true.
Not technically check downs. Some of them are designed, passes.
Yeah.
But you're talking about something other than what is, for the most part, the bread and butter of the passing game. So I think it's kind of a horse of a different color. You'd like to see some more from Cousins as far as a traditional offense goes because he is checking it down and he is, their leading wide receiver is the running back at this point.
And you're right. It's definitely a different way to do an offense, how they're doing it. And it makes it kind of more difficult for other defenses. Well, like if you're fantasy-wise, from fan perspective, if they're going against tough pass defense, like, was this really going to match up bad against me or not? If I was him, I'd direct Kirk Cousins all the way to the end.
I question the fact that he's not starting Demaryius Thomas against New England. Like, I don't care who his quarterback is. He's a 6'3", physical freak who can,
Yeah, he chose Paul Richardson. I would have went Demaryius Thomas too. If anybody's going to get targets, it's going to be him that game.
Okay, I understand the Jets are playing Tampa Bay. But do you really start Robbie Anderson over Demaryius Thomas?
No. I would still start Robbie Anderson. I would start Demaryius Thomas over Paul Richardson. Of course, it's easier to say that in hindsight too.
Well, I don't know. I have a thing for Paul Richardson too. Like,
so you like you some Paul?
Yeah, I do. I'm a fan of the Paul Richardson. I can't like.
Well, here's the thing. He is definitely what you would say a fantasy whack-a-mole kind. He was consistent early on.
Definitely a fantasy whack-a-mole.
Yeah, he was consistent early on. 5.9 points, 7.9, 9 points, 6.5, then 3.5, then 12, then 25 out of nowhere, then 4 and 4. He's a 30 to 60 yard receiving guy, and you just hope he gets a touchdown.
Well, and then having watched a couple of their games, he is so active in their offense.
Yeah, they definitely use him.
An integral part of their offense, and it's hard to, I guess, take that away and just put numbers to it. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I agree with you. Like, he's the guy who could draw some flags and all that good stuff, and the numbers really don't show what he's putting on the field.
Right.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I agree. So, where do you put Stu's chances?
I don't like him.
Yeah, he's got some tough sledding ahead, and it's gonna be difficult. But like you said, he's still got to set his lineup, and as long as you set your legal lineup, you never know. There's a lot of weeks where the team.
Well, and that's the thing. He's not bereft. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't have nothing.
Yeah.
But he needs to pay very close attention to his matchups, and that will determine his fieldableness or lack of fieldableness.
I agree, and the one thing I think this is the most competitive year we've had. No teams run away with it. Every team is right there. We had Day Day and Vince both start out 5-0, but since then they've gone 1-3. So it's just one of those things. Like, everybody's come back to the medium a little bit. And unfortunately, some teams haven't been able to get over the hump, like Sam and Stu and your brother. They're kind of just in co-pro. They're kind of just stuck there, and so, but they're in shooting distance though, because there's still a lot. Because the points scored, like, a lot of people, like, it varies so much. There's teams with winning records with 800 some. There's teams with winning records 700 points scored, and there's teams with losing records with 800 points scored. Like, it could just flip flop real quick. It's gonna be neat to see. I think the next 3 weeks are going to be pretty, this week included. So for 4 weeks, it's going to be quite fun to watch. It's people. Nobody's going to be sitting there and going, "Oh, okay, I feel free," or "I feel comfortable." I think Day Day and Vince might have the feeling the most to go, "I feel comfortable," because they both have the best record right now, and teams still have to catch you. But all the teams that are 5-4 and 4-5, of course, especially the 3 and 6. But all those teams, like, there's no way to be comfortable right now.
No, you could drop 3 and be in the losers bracket playing to not win.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's the thing, and anything can happen. Of course, and injuries too. Sam Bradford's been cruel this year. I mean, I've never seen. We say it every year, but every year it seems to get worse with big name players just going down, being out for the season, or missing most of the season. And then plus that with suspensions with Zeke, like, it's just been chaos.
Who was the number 1 pickup this week? The New York Jets quarterback.
Yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Are you kidding me? Like, I just fell in 2 other systems. Like,
I picked up Sammy Watkins. I picked up a trash bag and I threw him in my flex. Literally.
I that was suspended and had him, like, yeah, I understand. We're all, like, there's a tremendous amount of talent out there and it's all being hoarded.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, teams like Vince, it's all hoarded. Like, you look at all the depth on his team, I'm sitting there going, why can't some of those guys be out in waivers? Or why can't you just go ahead and trade some of those pieces? But if he's smart, you just hold on to them. Don't trade anymore, because they can't hurt you if they're on the bench. They can't be used against you. That's why I picked up the Packers defense, because I didn't want Vince to have the Packers defense against Trubisky. I had a bid in for the Lions defense, but Stu took him. I'm okay with that. I mean, it gets to that point where I think, I don't know about you, but when it gets to the point, I already start looking ahead at playoff schedule, and I want to get those 2 defenses set on my roster that I know are going to be possible 10 to 20 point scoring defenses. Because even if I don't make the playoffs, and God forbid I'm in the last place bracket, you want that still.
Definitely more like I'm trying to win this week. Like, I'm not, especially with the defense, a kicker, like I stream those.
Yeah. I will give up depth.
Flex.
I'll give up depth for defense of the year.
But I'm playing the week to win the week.
Yeah. Well, I can't say anything against it because you've won it twice. So, in back-to-back
Those were
years.
different times. Those were certainly different times.
It has changed. It used
We
to.
are definitely in a more competitive, more intelligent league than we were once upon a time. I will say that without any reservations.
I'll say it gets frustrating. I'll read like the waiver wire pickup articles, and I'll listen to a podcast thing. They'll be like, "This is who to pick up on waiver wire," and I'm like, "That person got picked up 2 weeks ago." I can't pick up that person.
The deep dive articles like, "Oh, this is for deep leagues."
Yeah.
Most of those people are rostered by the time that article comes out.
Oh yeah, Marlon Mack, Corey Davis. I think Mike Williams is still back out on waivers. He might be a good little snag, but yeah, I had Corey Davis, and I was upset. I had to drop the son of a gun because I had to pick up Chris Ivory because Leonard Fournette also was like, I'm not going to play this week. I'll tell you what, last week was bad. I'll vent about it a little bit. I'm still a little upset. Kelvin Benjamin gets traded, so I don't get my flex. Sean Watson, torn ACL. AJ Green, 6-yard receiving, punches a guy, gets thrown out of the game. And then Leonard Fournette doesn't get started.
Yeah, Leonard Fournette decided not to show up for meetings.
Yeah, and I'm just like, for photo. For team photo. I'm just like, what the hell? But that happens. So, it's crazy how like any little thing can like sideline you, and then you lose. Like you could just score. Your team could only score 70 points or 50 points, but it doesn't matter if the other team scores 49.
Well, that's it. Like I scored 79 through Sunday evening last week, and I was still in it.
Yeah.
Now, if I'd have been playing anybody else, I'd have been done.
And the thing,
The one player I was playing last week, like I had a shot going into Monday night.
and that's all you ask for, is it keeps it more fun, you know. And
Well, that's it.
yeah.
It's about fun.
And I would hate for it to be like a rotisserie thing where, or I forgot, like highest team scoring. I would hate that. Like at the end of the year, it's just whoever the top 6 were highest scoring got in. That would just be that would just be no fun because then wins and losses don't matter.
Right. Well, then you might as well just do weekly, then just play weekly fantasy every week. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I would say this though: teams would definitely set their lineups a little bit crazier because you'd have the high upside guy, or you have the guy with the floor. So
Right.
it'd be crazy to see how people would do it.
Well, like I say, this is all about fun.
Yeah,
This is,
all about fun.
this is about our group.
Well, Adam, we're about up on time here. Do you have any last second guru advice for everyone?
The Tampa Bay Jets game, I'm taking the plus on 60 points.
Woo! Yeah, it should be high scoring. There's no defense on either team.
No.
No, it's like the Hogs defense. It's horrible. So, all right, guys, you have a good one. Watch some Razorback basketball tomorrow because it will pep you up more than if you watch the football team.
Yes. Yes.
We're going back to the tourney, calling it.
Yes. Thank God.
Yeah, woo pig, guys. Have a good one.
Blue pig, bitches.
The Bright and Stu Fantasy Podcast is the official podcast of the Kappa Sigma Alumni Fantasy Football League.